What if I told you one of the greatest structures in human history was not built just to protect people, but to control them? The Great Wall of China stretches across mountains and deserts, a symbol of strength, of endurance, of civilization itself. But behind this wall is a story most people never hear, a story of forced labor, of absolute power, of a ruler who believed that order was worth any cost. And the truth is, this wall was not built because it was easy. It was built because one man refused to accept chaos. His name, Qin Shi Huang. Before the wall, before the empire, there was chaos. Ancient China was divided into rival states, each fighting for survival, each trying to dominate the others. This was the Warring States period, a time when cities fell overnight, alliances collapsed without warning, and power changed hands constantly. For generations, no ruler could bring lasting stability. Because unity was not natural, it had to be forced. Qin Shi Huang did not inherit peace. He created it, born into a world where alliances shifted overnight, where rulers were overthrown, and survival depended on constant vigilance. He learned early that power was never secure, and so he chose a different path. Through relentless military campaigns, his armies advanced with precision and discipline, defeating rival states one by one. Not through negotiation, not through compromise, but through overwhelming force and calculated strategy. Each victory was not just a conquest, it was a step towards something much larger. Because Qin Shi Huang was not fighting to win battles, he was fighting to eliminate the very idea of opposition. And when the wars finally ended, something extraordinary happened. For the first time, China was unified under a single ruler. A land that had been divided for centuries now answered to one throne. But victory created a new problem, because conquering land is one thing, controlling it is something else entirely. How do you govern millions of people who once saw each other as enemies? How do you ensure that unity does not fall apart the moment you are gone? Most rulers would celebrate. Qin Shi Huang did something else. He standardized everything, a single writing system, so ideas could flow across regions without confusion, a single currency, so trade could function across the empire, a single system of measurement, so construction, taxation, and governance could be unified. Even roads were built to uniform widths, ensuring that movement of people, goods, and armies followed a predictable system. Because he understood something fundamental. If people remain different, they can divide again. This was not governance in the traditional sense. This was control, designed, enforced, and sustained at scale. An empire not just united by conquest, but held together by uniformity. Here's what most people don't realize. The Great Wall didn't start with Qin. Before him, different states had already built their own walls. But those walls had a different purpose. They were built to defend against each other and against northern nomadic groups. They were scattered, disconnected. But to Qin Shi Huang, they were the foundation of something much bigger. Instead of building a new wall from nothing, he gave a simple order: connect them, extend them, turn them into a single defensive system. But this was not just about defense. It was about drawing a line. Inside the wall, order, control, civilization. Outside, uncertainty, threat, the unknown. The wall became more than a barrier. It became a statement. No machines, no engines, no steel cranes. So how was it done? Through people, massive numbers of people. Workers included, soldiers, prisoners, farmers forced into labor. They were sent across mountains, deserts, and remote landscapes, and they built using what they had. In many regions, earth was compacted layer by layer, mixed with gravel and soil, pressed into dense, durable walls. In mountainous areas, stones were carried by hand, placed with precision. This technique, often called rammed earth, created structures that could endure for centuries. This was not brute strength alone. It was organized effort. Relentless, systematic, unforgiving. But systems like this come at a cost. The work was harsh. The conditions were extreme. Many laborers never returned home. Ancient records describe exhaustion, hunger collapse under pressure. Some traditions even suggest that those who died were buried near the wall itself. Historians debate the details, but one thing is certain. This wall was not built easily. It was built through sacrifice. Qin Shi Huang did not tolerate opposition, because opposition was the beginning of chaos. Books that challenged his authority were destroyed. Ideas that questioned his rule were erased. In some accounts, scholars who resisted faced severe punishment. Whether every detail of these accounts is exact is still debated by historians, but the message is clear. Dissent was dangerous. His empire was not built on agreement. It was built on obedience, on the understanding that stability came at the cost of freedom, and the wall reflected that mindset. Massive, unyielding, impossible to ignore. Not just a defense against external threats, but a symbol of internal control. A reminder that the same force used to unite the empire could also be used to maintain it. Despite his control, he feared one thing: death. He searched for immortality, consulted alchemists, sent expeditions in search of elixirs. In a strange twist of history, some accounts suggest the substances he consumed may have contributed to his death. A man who reshaped a civilization could not escape his own mortality. Did the wall make China invincible? No, but it changed something deeper. It created a boundary. For the first time, there was a clear sense of who belongs inside and who does not. It allowed control over movement, early warning of invasions, a structured defense system, but more importantly, it created identity. The wall you see today is not just Qin's creation. Later dynasties rebuilt and expanded it, especially during the Ming period. Stronger materials, more refined engineering. What remains today is the result of centuries of effort, layer upon layer of history, all built on one original idea. Stand before the Great Wall today, and it feels eternal, unbreakable, a triumph of human achievement, a structure so vast, it seems to defy the limits of its time. But look closer, and you begin to see something else. This wall was not just built to protect a civilization, it was built to shape it, to control it, to define it. Qin Shi Huang is gone, but his idea, that unity must be enforced, that order must be maintained, that control can create stability. That idea endured, and it still echoes through history. Because every great civilization faces the same question: how much control is necessary to create order, and how much is too much? The Great Wall does not answer that question. It simply stands as proof of what humans are capable of building when they believe the cost is justified. If this story changed how you see the ancient world, like the video, share it with someone who loves history, and subscribe to Historified. Because history is not just about what was built, it's about understanding why it was built and what it cost.